¿Qué tal, amigos? Bienvenidos. This is LatiNation Football Club. I am your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and we have a banger of a show, my friend. That's right. I am here with Chiva Mayor, finally back on studio with us. Alex Crespo, my friend. Been a long time. Tell us where you were. What were you up to?
Mexico, Morelos, Guadalajara, visiting new stadiums, visiting, El Akron, Stadium del Mundial. Happy to be back at the studio.
That's right. Alex, are you ready? I know that you are probably very proud. We'll get into the under 20 results in the next segment. I gotta say, I was wrong. Mexico did not become the champion of the under 20 World Cup, but Marruecos is gonna be the one that avenges the Mexicans and steals the trophy from the Argentinians.
What do I gotta say? You're gonna have another bad weekend, and we'll be back next week to tell you all about it. That's
Sencillito.
Sencillito. And it is time to get this show started, my friends, because we have to talk about La Gloriosa Liga MX, because the tournament's on fire. We were off for the international break. Mexico was disastrous in under 20 against Colombia, a little bit better against Ecuador. Liga MX took a break, but we are ready to go back. And for that, Chiva, please break down the standings and how the teams are looking. We are almost there for the Liguilla.
I mean, the powerhouses up there, you got Toluca, el campeón, el actual campeón in first place. Second place, América, really being a contender again for another trophy. Teams like Tigres, Monterrey, Cruz Azul, and yes, Xolos de Tijuana on the top of the league. And it's good to see a team like Xolos with a good coach like El Loco Abreu, and of course the little kid, the youngster, La Estrella Mexicana, Gilberto Mora, scoring goals for Xolos and making a difference.
The two teams from the border, my friends, are in the top 8. Juárez, Tigres y Juárez, like you know, my friends, are here on LatiNation. That's right, Liga MX live games in English.
Because if you didn't know, aquí in LatiNation we have La Gloriosa Liga MX y Tigres, Juárez are the main teams, but we're also gonna
show all the teams. What is your favorite team of the Mexican League, Alex?
I mean, is that even a question? I think it's gonna be Tigres all day. And not even just because they're here at LatiNation, all in English, by the way, but just because the star power that they have. I mean, one of my favorites, Angel Correa, there, providing assists in every game. But I think that they're very strong contenders for this season.
Juan Bruneta, another standout player for Tigres. Guignac, Nahuel in the back. Unfortunately, they were not able to get the result on their last game. They tied 1-1 with Cruz Azul on a very dramatic. Chiva, break it down for me. Do you think that was a foolish mistake from a defender that came in the second half with fresh legs? You will think that he will be more collected, but it wasn't the case.
I mean, Tigres dominated the entire game. Cruz Azul didn't even have a chance, but again, this defender comes in and gives away a free penalty kick for Cruz Azul to, at the last minute, turning around the Cruz Azuleada and scoring that 1-1 that they did not deserve that, but in soccer and football, it's not about deserving, it's about scoring the goals. And Cruz Azul scored that 1-1 goal, and unfortunately for Tigres, they didn't do enough to score more goals.
That's right, and that had a direct effect on the standings. Now Cruz Azul is well down in that top 5. Tigres is fighting that for that middle of the top 10 that will move on eventually to the Liguilla. Let's do just a quick refresher. Place the spots from 1 to 6 qualify directly. 7, 8, 9, and 10, they go into a play-in. Chiva, do you like this format, or do we like the straight 8 that qualify?
I mean, play-in, we've seen in the past previous seasons that it's not the best. For some people it is, because this is more opportunities for other teams. Teams like Mazatlan, like even Pumas, Chivas that aren't having the best of the seasons, they have a chance to come back. But I think that the first 8 should advance to straight Liguilla. But speaking of Juárez, let me tell you something about Juárez. They play Atlas in El Estadio Jalisco, doing very good at starting with a 1-0, dominating the game. But Atlas en su casa, even though there was not a lot of fans, they dominated the game. They came back and they beat Juárez on a 3-1. They stunned Juárez. Everybody thought Juárez was going to take the win because Atlas had a lot of injuries, and Juárez has been playing an amazing football.
3 goals, 3 games in a row that they scored 3 goals.
So Atlas took the game, and Juárez, goes down on the table. But they're looking pretty good. Murillo in the back. They have a lot of decent players.
Murillo, a great player. He was one of the key defenders for LAFC in a championship team. Alex Crespo, now tell me, Juárez. Do you think that they're going to do a deep run in this liguilla?
I mean, as I see it keep it going, to be honest, I'm not sure because, you know, they've been stuck at the mid-table for, you know, since we've been covering them, and I just don't see them moving up or down, really. Tigres, we've seen be in their 5th place spot, well-deserved. But, you know, as for Juárez, to be honest, I'm not sure how they're going to go.
There you go, my friends. Now it is time for you to know the upcoming games that we will have here on LatiNation. What is in the menu, Chiva? Tell me.
We got Tigres, Necaxa, and in Necaxa with Fernando Gago, a coach that nobody likes in Mexico. We don't even know what he's doing there. He's having a terrible season with Necaxa, and of course Tigres. You know, Tigres is a team with the less goals. Nahuel Guzman having 7 clean sheets. It's just amazing what he has done. He's one of the best goalkeepers ever for Liga MX. It's going to be a great match that you cannot miss here in LatiNation.
Then we're going to have Juárez versus Pachuca. This is one of the most important games for Juárez because their implications for the playoffs are direct. Pachuca, as we well know, is one of the strongest teams in the Liga MX tournament. Historically, they have great player development. They have a great institution. They have great facilities, Chiva. And Juárez, it's basically an up-and-coming team, like you said, that they did a really good job of giving second chances to players like Pizarro, players like Murillo, and another, you know, ensemble of players that has shined in other teams, that they were into a slump, and now they're fighting. And those teams, they are dangerous.
Yeah, very dangerous. Juárez, I mean, everybody thinks that just because they're Juárez, they like to seem like a small team, but Juárez has a lot of power, and especially up front with some Brazilians. I mean, I think Juárez they're gonna make the playoffs, and they can probably make it to the semifinals. I'm saying it right here in LatiNation. Watch out with Juárez.
In the famous words of Nik Z, quote him on that.
Oh, quote him, Ham. We're gonna listen from Nik Z in a little bit down the show. But my friends, let's talk about the possibility of Chivas and Pumas not making it to the Fiesta Grande. ¿Qué vamos a hacer, Chivas?
I no sé, but I think Chivas is doing really good. Three straight wins. Actually, they just came from beating Pumas. It was a really good game for Guadalajara. I don't know what's going on with Pumas. I feel bad for Keylor Navas, such an amazing goalkeeper. If it wasn't for him, it would be more goals than when they have scored with Chivas, with America. I mean, I think both have a chance. I think at the end of the day, it's Liga MX. You win 3-4 straight games, and you make it to the playoffs.
Now, for us, the big teams of this season, Toluca. For me, again, they are the favorites to make it to the final and win it again, and maybe compete to see if they can do it 3 times like America. America, again, to my disdain, they continues to be a threat. They might also make a comeback to the final, but I still believe that Pumitas can go in, get into the play-in, and do a deep run, a surprise like they've done it in the past. But the squad of Efraín has not really lived up to expectations. The expense of the Patronato de la UNAM has been big. They have spent money on bringing European players, world-class players like Keylor Nava, and the team still doesn't seem to gel. The loss of Bebote is going to be critical. This is the most prolific player for Pumas, and unfortunately, he's out for the season. Chiva, what are your predictions? Who takes it all in Liga MX?
Ay, Dios mío. I got 4 teams that I think are gonna, be top contenders. Obviously, Toluca playing amazing football. They went to León. First half, it was very equal. Second half, they totally dominated León. They won 4-2. But I see Tigres, I see America, I see Cruz Azul, and Toluca as the top 4 contenders to take in La Liga MX.
There you have it, my friends. We have to go on a quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back, we're gonna break down the performance of Argentina in the Under-20 World Cup. They are in the final. They're going to face Morocco. Also, Nik Z is very, very far away looking for tacos, and you'll see everything when we come back here on LatiNation Football Club.
Let's do AJ Brown. He's seems to be kind of upset with the way things are going. the Eagles will trade A.J. Brown at some point this season, buy or sell.
This is what really annoys fans about certain players. Don't you care about winning? All right, he played last year, won a Super Bowl, right? He's reading books, and he's blah, blah, blah. He's complaining this year, too. And he was complaining while they were winning. Yeah, of course they lost last night to the Giants there, but he had 6 catches, 80 yards. And then I think I heard him come out and say, I don't remember having an offensive meeting with Hurts and Barkley, even though it was reported that they did have a meeting. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't, but if they did have a meeting and he's saying he doesn't, what is going on here? Do you really want to be traded? I mean, grass isn't always greener. They're not going to trade you to a good team, right? You're certainly not going to Detroit, or San Francisco. They're not going to trade you to anybody in their own conference that's good, that could go compete with them. So just strange. Do I think he's going to be traded? No. They've come out and said he won't be traded, but that, who cares? That could just be to drive the price up if they really wanted to move him. So I'm going to sell this, but, if he really wants to be dealt, he can make life hard. Keep complaining, keep doing this and that, embarrassing everybody, but really strange situation what's going on in Philadelphia. You won a Super Bowl, you'd think you'd be happy for a little bit.
I think that, I don't know, would they do this deal? I think Howie Roseman is not adverse to making deals, but George, wouldn't they have to acquire somebody like A.J. Brown to make this kind of trade? I'm going to say sell. I think he's going to stick it out with the team. I think they're going to move him in the offseason. I think they're going to move him.
Fantasy Sports Today. Fridays starting at 3 p.m. Eastern. Only on SportsGrid.
¿Qué tal, amigos? We are back here on LatiNation Football Club. I am your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and it is time to break down international competitions. And unfortunately, I have to come clean. Last week, I said that Mexico will be the champion of the Under-20 World Cup, and that was not the case. They crashed out of the competition, losing to no other than Argentina 2-0. I won't get into the details of the game because patadas de ahogado nadie las quiere, but I gotta say that now, after defeating Colombia, they are in the final. Chiva is very sad. Alex is very happy. My friend rejoice on the success of Argentina.
I think we're missing Cami too, because I think she tried to avoid this whole segment in general. But it doesn't matter. Silvetti came up and scored in both games, one against Mexico and then one against Colombia. We saw a rematch from the World Cup 2022, and then we saw a rematch of the 2024 Colombia-Argentina Copa America final. I mean, it was amazing. You guys all laughed at me. It was, and I told you were going to have a bad weekend, and what?
Terrible weekend. Terrible weekend for Mexican fans. Not only did we crash out of the Under-20 World Cup, we got beaten badly by Colombia, and we had a so-so performances with Ecuador.
But let me tell you something, Marcelino. Mexico and Argentina, of course, I know as a Mexican, we were dreaming of winning the cup. But in reality, we have the Mexican national team with around 17,000 minutes in first division for our team, but the Argentinian team with more than 27,000 minutes play in Primera División. That there tells you that kind of experience that they have, and they show it at the game. The game, it was equally into the minute that the Mexicans started losing their mind and trying to kick back Argentina, but Argentina was kicking and kicking, but in a smart way, like they always do. Unfortunately for Mexico, it got into their head. They couldn't recover for that 1-0 goal, which came from an injury of a player. And there was that split second with 10 players that Argentina could score the first goal. But it's not excuses. We're talking about reality. At the end of the day, Argentina is a powerhouse. Argentina, they're the World Cup champions. And under 20, they're also dominating. We've seen it. They're in the final. No excuses for Mexico. I'm happy with what Mexico did. I think that the performance they did against Spain, France, beating Marruecos that are now in the final, and then, playing Argentina at a top level, I think I'm very happy with what I saw from Mexico.
Without a doubt, Chiva, I think that the future for Mexico is bright. Hopefully, they listen to your advice. They let these players have more minutes on the first flight and stop hoarding them. Now, guys, talking about these so far away places begs a question. Where in the world is Nik Z?
Last thing I heard, he was hungry.
He was very hungry. He was very, very far away looking for tacos to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. So let's take a look to see where in the world is Nik Z.
What is up, guys? Nik Z here in Baku, Azerbaijan, home to Karabakh FK, one of just a handful of teams who are so far undefeated in the Champions League after 2 match days. It's an exclusive club with the likes of Real Madrid and Inter Milan and Arsenal, so you can say that Karabakh FK are off to a very good start as underdogs. So let's dive a bit into who Karabakh FK are, and because it's Hispanic Heritage Month, we're gonna do this while on the search for Hispanic food in Azerbaijan, which on the surface seems like a difficult task given where I am in the world right now, but don't you ever underestimate Latino culture and just how far and wide it has spread. Okay, a quick Google search has shown that we have panchos, Mexican food. Are there many Mexican restaurants in Baku? You're the only one. Wow. Alrighty, we got our food. All right, guys. Now, the first thing I think that's important to talk about regarding Karabakh FK is the fact that this is a team that is displaced. They can't even play in their hometown because of war that has plagued the region for a very long time. And so they play out of Baku, but they're actually from Agdam in the Karabakh region. That out of the way, we have our first thing, and that is tacos. I ordered carnitas. I think there's cream cheese. Yeah, there's cream cheese on this. Oh, pancho. Whoa. The next thing I wanted to highlight is the fact that Karabakh FK is off to a flying start. They beat Benfica 3-2 in their opening match away at Benfica, which is pretty awesome. Then they went on to stomp Copenhagen at home 2-0. Next up, they got Club Atletico. Let's see how they're gonna do. And speaking of how are they gonna do, I got a carne asada taco, and it's hard shell. We got another salsita here. Oh, that's ketchup. What? They gave me ketchup with my tacos. Okay. Let's move on to our next fact. They are 12-time Azerbaijan League winners. Aside from winning the Azerbaijan Premier League 12 times, they've also won the Azerbaijan Cup 8 times. Now move on to the quesadilla, which looks all right. Here goes. Okay, the quesadilla is sweet. There's some sugar in here. So at this point, I just want to say that we're not going to go into the details of this food. I think it's best that we just highlight the fact that somebody in Azerbaijan admired Latino culture enough, Mexican food, to open up a restaurant all the way here, thousands and thousands and thousands of miles away from Mexico. They were playing Shakira, they were playing J Balvin, Arcangel, so no Mexican music, but Latino culture, let's say, albeit in the form of these very stereotypical, almost cringe stereotype symbols, was alive and well in this little establishment in the heart of Baku, Azerbaijan. A city that's clearly producing great footballers, but Latin cuisine, I think they need a little practice on that one. Over to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Nick. And there you have it, my friends. Nik Z is straight from the opposite side of the world in Azerbaijan. Nik Z has been doing an excellent job finding these little teams in Champions League, the underdogs that are there for the first time. He has been in Cyprus, he has been in Kazakhstan, he's been in Azerbaijan, and telling us the story of these countries and these teams that are surprisingly applying competition in Champions League, Chiba.
Man, he was eating tacos and quesadillas far, far away from here.
When we come back, we're going to have Liga MX Femenil. That's right, NWSL, and everything you need to know of the female game with Camila Ortiz. Don't go anywhere. You're watching LatiNation Football Club.
20 million too much as far as I'm concerned, but it's not like you're indebted to him or you have to follow through with him. Like, what are we doing? Try to win the damn game by bringing in a quarterback that can actually throw the ball. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know what the loyalty to Fields is here and why you thought he gave you the best shot at winning that game without going to the bench.
The Early Line, only on SportsGrid.
Hopefully these go better. I'm smashed before one on these games. I cannot believe that this game destroyed me. I can. Why did I get involved live? That's on me, not
That
you.
is on you.
All right.
That's on you.
You didn't have to run up the score. I said it was on me.
It was on you.
All right.
You just didn't see the writing on the wall. Knee it! Let's get out of Dodge!
Pro Football Today, only on SportsGrid.
Can I get an ISO? Come on. Give me the ISO over here.
Give
right
me the
here.
ISO.
Come on,
He
give me
wants the
ISO.
camera.
Look, I'm going to get nice and comfortable right now. I've been telling you people out there, yes, you people, about the Notre Dame Fighting Irish. My connection to the Irish growing up as a kid, I hated that team. But they called me at the network the most unbiased man here, which means I'm giving you the information straight from the mouth here. You don't have to go anywhere. You get it from me.
SportsGrid's College Football Today.
I think Kendra Miller's role continues to grow in this offense. So I think as you're looking at bye weeks continuing on and looking for running back depth, as always, we all know the dynamic can change in a minute, right? We've done this so many times in the last couple of weeks. We were adding Woody Marks before his game. We were adding Brashard Smith last week. I still want to add Brashard Smith this week. I want to add the guys that I think have upside for the second half, and Kendra Miller is definitely one of those backs.
Fantasy Sports Today, only on SportsGrid.
¿Qué tal, amigos? Welcome back. This is LatiNation Football Club. I am your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and it is time that we break down what's happening on Liga MX Femenil. That's right, one of the best female leagues in the world, and that's why I'm here with Camila Ortiz, our resident expert on all things women's soccer, y Chiva Mayor, our resident expert on Liga MX. What better combination to break down the standings and the latest news? So, Camila, please take it away.
I mean, wow, there's so much to talk about because this is such an exciting league. But first off, let's talk about Charlene Corral because she just keeps rewriting history, guys. She just smashed the single season goal record with 21 goals this regular season, topping her own prior record, guys. It's crazy.
No, Charlene Corral has scored some amazing goals que están para el Puskas, eh? And through all her career as a footballer, I think that the most amazing goals I've seen in Liga MX Femenil is from Charlene Corral. Such an amazing player that has Pachuca in second place. I mean, a Pachuca that in the past seasons has been struggling a little bit with the Caso Liga Femenil. And then behind them we have Club América and, of course, Mis Gloriosas Chivas Rayadas del Guadalajara.
That's right, Chiva. Unfortunately, Mis Pumitas Femeniles, they're also in the 10th position, just like Pumas in the male side. But what are you going to do about it? Now, the other felinos that are really killing this league are Tigres Femenil. Tigres Femenil, probably the best team in Liga MX, the current champions. But in my opinion, if you put them to play in Champions League, they will compete at the highest level. They have players like Jenny Hermoso. They have players that are really used to that high-level competition. Now, Camila, speaking of Tigres, tell me, what are some of the games that just happened on the last match that you are really excited about?
Oof, well, my favorite game from this weekend had to be América contra Tigres. Remember, América's in third place, Tigres is in first. This was a solid matchup and finally giving, Tigres a run for their money. But at the end of the day, América just couldn't steal those 3 points away and they lost 2-1. I mean, it's hard out there. That would have been great for América to grab those 3 points because they're just below Tigres in points.
So that's why Tigres is the first place of the competition, Chiva.
Now, you asked me, my favorite game of the weekend was Chivas versus Puebla. Obviously, Chivas not being able to beat Puebla, but getting that 1 point that made them qualify to the Liguilla, the Liga Femenil. And I'm so happy for Guadalajara. They're a team that they have been contenders. They have won the championship. They beat Tigres in the regular season. Just been right there at top 4, even though they couldn't beat Puebla. I'm so happy for them, and I'm happy that they qualify for the playoff.
Now, don't forget, we also have games here on LatiNation. Tigres versus San Luis this Saturday, live on LatiNation, because Liga MX is here and in English, my friends. If you guys want to bring your friends that don't speak Spanish. Los invitan. You guys download the app of LatiNation and you guys can watch on the go. Tigres is going to bring a lot of goals and a lot of happiness to your life. So tune in, my friends. Now, Camila, let's switch gears and let's talk about a little bit about the National Women's Soccer League here in the United States. We're coming close to the end of the season. The playoff is shaping up. Break it down.
Ooh, well, shifting north, here's what's happening in the NWSL because a lot was announced this weekend. First of all, I'm very sad to announce the retirement of Kristen Press. I mean, what an icon. She just announced that she'll retire at the end of this 2025 season. She's a two-time World Cup winner, a U.S. Women's National Team legend, and, well, her legacy is unmatched. But this begs the question, guys, what is ACFC going to do now without two of their star powerhouse players?
Alyssa Thompson just recently left. She had a hard start to her career at Chelsea. 7 games, 0 goals, 0 assists. They made a post of her saying she was the 007 agent. Next game, a goal and an assist. So life is better for her, but maybe not for ACFC. Like you said it, we've said it here in the show. It's incredible that we can have the most expensive, the most valuable franchise in the National Women's Soccer League that has not qualified for the playoffs ever.
I have a solution for ACFC. They got to look into the Liga MX. They have some amazing Mexican players down there. Alicia Cervantes could be one of them, even though she's a veteran. She's a player that can help a team like ACFC to make it to the playoffs at least. And I think that they should look more to the south. La Liga MX is growing. We just seen it with amazing games, with the players that are going to Liga MX. So that would be ACFC. If you scare me, like Liga MX, you can get more players down there.
We hope that the Mexican teams are able to compete like we see in Leagues Cup with the NWSL. It will be a tournament that will bring a lot of awareness for both leagues and promote the game at large and the level of play, because I'm telling you guys, the type of players that both leagues have is amazing. And Liga MX is here on LatiNation, so please go latination.com/download. Download the app and watch the games wherever you are, my friends. Now, unfortunately, it is time to go. Thank you, Camilita. Thank you, Chiva. And you at home, thank you for being the MVP of LatiNation Football Club. We thank you for being here with us every Friday to talk about football, soccer, catenaccio, whatever you call it, Jogo Bonito. We have it here in LatiNation Football Club. I'm your host, Marcelino Ortiz, and we'll see you next time.
The best part about it is that they're just going about handling their business. I was listening to Arvel Reese and his literally like 5-word sentences about himself and some of the things that Caleb has been talking about. The dudes are just so locked in here about just doing their job and not worrying about all the other things and awards. They know all those happen when you go win and you win decisively.
The Bobby Carpenter Show, only on SportsGrid.
Baker Mayfield is the most important player on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and they are in first place right now, looking dead in the eye of home field advantage throughout the playoffs. They played a bad division. They're going to win a lot of games, and they're the best fourth quarter team, or at least the 2-minute warning team in all football. So, don't sleep on that.
The Craig Carton Show, only on SportsGrid.
Awesome and monumentous win against Oregon. Texas has saved their season. Texas has given themselves life to potentially crash the college football playoff party. For OU, a loss to Texas shouldn't be the end of your season. And yet with that remaining schedule, it feels like it could be. Books certainly pricing it that way. A lot of movement off of the Red River rivalry.
Game time decisions, only on SportsGrid.
Paige or Caitlin? Who do you take and why?
I think for the WNBA, in a sense where they're moving toward more guards when it's been very post and big heavy in the past. But there's a reason why Caitlin Clark set all those records at college and then went into the WNBA and set all those records immediately. I really do think she's just a different level talent.
Betting above the rim, only on Sports.